G'day everyone, it's Donna from Australia. Welcome back to my channel. In today's tutorial, we're going to create some super handy field note booklets. Whether you're a fan of stapling, hand sewing, or machine sewing, you can pick your favorite method because they'll all work perfectly well in this little booklet. It's available in kit form and includes two awesome designs. One with a solid background in case you don't have any craft cardstock, and one without. Plus, I've thrown in a fun paper doll printable and a grid.paper page printable. And I'll show you exactly how to put these together just like I did. Let's get started. Let me explain what's in the kit. This sheet here has no background, and this one here has a background, so it's perfect for printing on white or coloured paper. So if you put a white sheet of paper in your printer, you'll see that it's got a solid background behind the butterflies. So whatever paper you use, you'll see that colour behind the wings of the butterfly here. Now to print on craft cardstock, choose the one with no background and you only need to print on one side. Oh, what if I accidentally print the solid block onto my craft cardstock? It won't matter at all. There are two cover designs, one with the book plate and one with a scroll at the top here. Now to take care of the white cardstock, we're not all a fan of white on the back of our little booklets, so I've included this gorgeous little paper doll for you. It is something that you can use to print on the back side of your field note booklet cover, or you can use it as a fussy cut. Just print it out to a sheet. I'm also going to show you at the end of the video how I've used my clear tag templates to use up the scraps that I printed out as boo-boos, so nothing gets wasted. I've also included a printable of this paper, which is the dot grid paper for your pages. The cover's pretty easy to make because all you've got to do is print on either white cardstock or craft cardstock and then cut it out. I find using 200 to 250 GSM a pretty good weight for your cover. If you use this 280 GSM, it works quite well, but what happens is, because it's thicker, your cover stays open a little bit, so just keep that in mind. On the printout, there's a cut line on both the solid one and the transparent one. So just go ahead and cut out right on that line. And if you used the white cardstock, when you look at the edges, you'll see the white edge. So you might like to use some colour on that. And then just go ahead and fold your cover in half, corner to corner, and just use a finger crease. So that's it. I've made all four covers so you can have a look at them. The two on the left are printed on the craft cardstock, and the two on the right, I've used the white cardstock. These little notebooks are designed for writing in, so you want blank paper for all of your pages. You can use the dot grid paper that's supplied in the kit. You can use blank paper. So I'm going to make my first one using the dot grid. I've printed 5 pages front and back. Now if you're using a printer that doesn't print all the way to the edge, just keep that in mind. Print them all out and fold them in half. You're going to get 2 pages to a sheet, so that'll give you 10 pages. Once you've folded them in half, just cut that fold line off. You only need to cut a slither and that will separate the pages for you. Then go ahead and fold those single pages in half again, and that gives you your 10 pages. Now put all of your pages inside each other. Make sure they're all facing the same way. So if you've got more of a gap in your print at the top, put all of those together. If you're going to hand sew your pages in, you would trim your pages back to fit your cover now. Now when you put these inside your cover, typically it's best if you've got a little bit of space all around the top, the bottom and the side, but you can pat down your pages, push them all toward the bottom, then just trim off the foredge and the top. But if you're using a stapler, I suggest that you don't trim your pages before you staple in. So for this plain paper, I'm going to leave my pages bigger and I'm going to staple in and then trim them back. You can stitch or staple your booklets together. I'm going to show you how to staple first. I've got a long reach stapler, and all it means is that you can reach the center of your book when it's opened. Open up your book with the cover facing up and line up the fold line of your cover with the fold line of all of your pages. What I've done to help me line this up proper, I've put a white marker on either side of my stapler. I just line that white mark up to my fold line and then I whack the top of my stapler. I find that this goes through my pages much better than if I just push on the stapler. Then I fold it in half and I crease it with my bone folder, and then I trim the pages back. I do it this way because if I trim the pages first and then staple it, they're always crooked. And you can see here, if I cut the pages first and then try and put them in my stapler, the pages always move around. I can't line them all up properly. Now for sewing, you can use the 5-hole pamphlet stitch, you can use a sewing machine, or you can use just a running stitch. It's like a back stitch actually. And yes, your sewing machine will handle sewing through 10 sheets of paper and the cover. I'm just going to very briefly show you the back stitch or the running stitch. I've poked in 7 small holes. I'm using a strong needle and I'm just doing a running stitch all the way up the center, and then I'm going to sew back down, filling all the gaps that were left. When I get to the bottom, I just take my needle off and I tie a knot in the last stitch, a double knot. Cut that off. And then that's it, that's done. This one's pretty easy to do if you don't want to do the 3 or the 5-hole pamphlet stitch. The next thing to do is round the corners. Doesn't matter what size you do, you choose whichever size you like. I start rounding the corners from the front and I go all the way from the cover the same way through the pages to the back. I don't start at the front and then flip it over and do the back. I go in all the same direction. Now it's up to you if you want to use a distress ink to colour the corners after you've cut them. But rounding the corners does make a difference. It's optional. You do not have to round the corners. Once you've finished your booklets, if you're making more than one, I turn them around top to tail and I put them in a book press, or just put them under something heavy, and this will help keep the books closed. I've left these in overnight and now they're all pressed, they're laying flat and they're ready to use. While I was making these books, I made a few boo-boos, so I have a lot of offcuts. So what I want to do is show you my clear tag templates. These have been very popular. If you haven't got a set of these, just have a look at how versatile they are to use. This is one of the sheets that didn't work out. So what I'm doing is I'm just going to cut this piece off down one side, and I want my card to be a little sturdy. I'm going to double it up. So I'm just going to score it across the center and fold it in half. Then I'm going to lay my template on top. Now these templates come in 4 sizes, so you can see straight away which size tag is going to fit on your cardstock. This is the biggest size tag and it fits perfectly. So you use the template as a ruler. So get your craft knife and you just cut directly around the edge of the template. If you haven't got a craft knife, just pencil around the edge of the template and then cut it out with your scissors. But I'm cutting through 2 layers of craft cardstock here, so I'm making a couple of passes and I'm being careful because I don't want any slips. Now I've got it cut out, I'm just going to cover up my instructions are on the top. I don't want to see them, so I'm just using another piece of offcut and I'm gluing that over the top. This changed it from a mishap to something usable. So now I'm going to glue the inside of the tag and join these pieces together to make it stronger. And there you are, I've got myself a blank tag. But I'm going to use the paper doll that's included in this kit, and I fussy cut it. I cut it out a bit smaller and I fussy cut out my lady and a couple of dresses. I'm just going to use one dress on this one and I'm going to layer it. So I'm going to put a part of the dress under her arm and over her leg. So I just cut it out and I'm going to glue a part of it down first, and then I'm going to slip her under the edge of the dress and glue the rest of it down. And look, honestly, you would not know that this originally was a messed up print. So nothing goes to waste here. We always are looking for ways to use things up. Look, honestly, even though this is my own product, these clear tag templates, I recommend them. I love them. I use them all the time. I never put them away. So it's Mother's Day coming up on Sunday. I've got them marked down for a flash sale. So if you want to have a look at them, take advantage of the Australian dollar compared to the US dollar and get yourself a treat for Mother's Day.